Yo, yo, what's happening, world? B March Boxing. I'm back at it with another boxing video. Yes, indeed, I'm back at it, man. You already know. You see the name of the title, right? So I'm gonna get into it, man. Without without further to do. You see, remember how fellas when I gave the example. I'm gonna be more concise and precise in this video, right? Man, like Floyd Mayweather. When Floyd Mayweather was holding two straps simultaneously in two different weight classes, 154. When he beat the likes of Canelo and Miguel Cotto to become a unified champion at 154 while simultaneously holding two straps, unified straps at 147. This was during his Showtime run, right? You know, he had two straps, eventually ended up with three when he beat Pacquiao. But, after Floyd Mayweather was beating all these guys, even fellas like Manny Pacquiao, right? What were they clamoring for Floyd Mayweather to do? They was telling them fellas Floyd Mayweather he need to go up to 160 pounds, right? He need to go up to 160 to fight the man Triple G. You know what I mean? Because Triple G at them times, or like 2015, 14, them times, he was considered quote unquote the boogeyman. You know what I mean? So they was urging the man Floyd, and this was the media, you know what I'm saying, and or the detractors of Floyd Mayweather, who wanted to see him get a loss, right? They guess they wasn't satisfied with Floyd holding two straps simultaneously on some Henry Armstrong ish. Yeah, I mean, they wanted him to go up there to 160 pounds to face Triple G. You know what I'm saying? The same thing went for Andre Ward. Andre Ward's a kingpin at 168, unified champion. You know what I'm saying? The lineal champ at 168, super middleweight. There was a point in time in Andre Ward's career, after the Super Six and them type of fights, or let's say after the Chad Dawson fight, especially after the Chad Dawson fight, he was very inactive. Injuries, whether it's knee or shoulder, if I'm not mistaken, injuries, and also he was going through litigation with Dan Goosen. You know what I mean? Goosen Promotions. That was his promoter. He was going through litigation, trying to get up out of his contract. So he was really out the ring for like 2 years. And during those 2 years, that's when man like Triple G was making his rounds and making his name in the boxing game. You know what I mean? Triple G jumped out the window and he said, man, he'll fight anybody between 147 pounds and I think as high up as not I think, and as high up as 175 pounds. Yeah, I mean, fellas like Carl Froch called his bluff. Carl Froch was fighting at 168. Triple G ain't want no smoke with him. I mean, Triple G said he'll fight anybody between 147 and 175 pounds. Carl Froch wanted all the smoke. Triple G ain't want to go that route. I don't know why. That fella's Froch was carving his name out in British law as a superstar out there, putting on great fights, coming back from, coming, being down on the cards, coming back and winning fights in dramatic fashion, losing fights in embarrassing fashion like he did to Andre Ward, then coming back in his very next fight becoming a world champion by beating an undefeated Lucian Bute, bringing 80,000 people to watch his fight with George Groves in Wembley Stadium, and even the first fight with the man George Groves was an instant classic because of the drama, the knockdown and the bad stoppage and stuff. Yeah, I mean. So rather than Triple G go and capitalize off of them fellas, Carl Froch newfound stardom on in the small island of England, which has massive boxing fans, he declined. And he continued to fight the likes of whomever he was fighting. I mean, shit, I can't even remember these Adamas, the Adamas, and Martin Murray. And look, Martin Murray deserved them fights. You know, let's be honest. You know, I thought Martin Murray beat the man Sergio Martinez, and I was a Sergio Martinez fan. That fella's lost to Martin Murray. Some of y'all newbies on here might be like, who the hell is Martin Murray? When Triple G was fighting that guy and he caught him with the body shot in the NYC MSG. What's the guy's name? He was a smaller guy, 154 pounder. Matthew Macklin, you know what I'm saying? Uh, when he was fighting all these guys, you know what I mean? He was carving a name out at 160, but none of these guys was a Carl Froch in them. So boom, man like Andre Ward, who was inactive, like I said, he calls out the man Triple G. He's like, yo, you want smoke between anybody from 175 to 147? I want all the smoke. And remember, Triple G was calling out Floyd Mayweather. Yeah, he said he wanted to fight Floyd Mayweather. A small guy, right? But he ain't want to fight the man Andre Ward, 168. Andre Ward was willing to come down to a catch weight of 164 pounds. Let's meet in the middle. Let's meet halfway. That's fair. Please be reasonable. Triple G come up 4 pounds. Ward come down 4 pounds. That's fair. But Triple G and this team, they wanted no smoke, right? They wanted no smoke with that man. You know what I mean? Did the fans pressure Triple G like that? Triple G, why you being why you being a coward, dogs? Why don't you go up to 168, man? Beat the number one pound for pound fighter in boxing. You beat him, slim you on the pound for pound list. Just like that, instantly. Triple G ain't want to go there. What did the fans, Triple G fans, tell Ward? Man, leave Triple G alone, man. Go up to Go fight Kovalev at 175 pounds. That's what they did. You know, they didn't force or pressure the man Triple G, their favorite fighter, to chase greatness. I mean, he said it out of his mouth who he wants. He didn't want to fight no Andre Ward, and he didn't want to fight no Carl Froch. While he said, "Look, I'm gonna go. I want to fight anybody in boxing between 147 and 175." But he was pressed. He was on the heels. He was pressed to get Julio Cesar Chavez Jr., Baby Chavez, into the ring. A cold bum. Why is that? Why you want to get that cold bum who was just given belts by the WBC? Never beat nobody to become a world champion in his life. They stripped a real Hall of Fame legend in Sergio Martinez in order to give the belt to Baby Chavez. And I don't even need to tell y'all what happened in the fight between Baby Chavez and Sergio Martinez, where Sergio Martinez finally got his paws on that man. I'm sure it was bittersweet for Sergio Martinez, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, that's who Triple G wanted. Julio Cesar Chavez. But he ain't want to fight the man Andre Ward or Carl Froch. And it's the Triple G fans telling Andre Ward, go up. Go fight Kovalev, man. They did the same thing to Lara. Lara called out Triple G, wanted all the smoke. A guy who fights at 154 pounds, who was willing to come up to 160. No catch weight, none of that. Let's get it in. Triple G's been fighting all kinds of small dudes at 154. I'm sorry, at 160. Bringing up dudes from 106, 154. You know? Even that first Japanese dude he knocked out on HBO on his HBO debut. The guy who knocked out Kirkland. This guy was a 154 pounder. But when Lara, 154 pounder, and arguably the best at that time, Triple G went mute. He's quiet. So you see the reverse racism. They want all the black fighters to go up there, right? And when they conquer divisions and very good fighters. They want them to go all up in these weight classes to challenge themselves and possibly get beaten by the bigger fighter. You know, in boxing, two fighters are both good fighters in two big different weight classes. 9 times out of 10, the guy, the fighter who's in the bigger weight class, let's say Hagler Hearns, the better fighter won because the better big man will beat the smaller a good small man. You know what I mean? This is just how it's been in boxing. You know what I'm saying? You could be very good and still have the same skill set, but the bigger guy will usually win the fight. You know what I mean? And they wanted Triple G. I'm sorry, Floyd to take a loss. They wanted the man Andre Ward to take a loss, right? So that brings us into this shit right here, reverse racism. Floyd Mayweather was sounding a little bitter, and I'm a Floyd Mayweather fan. But he need to stop capping for the man and caping for the man. What's his name? Javante Davis. Floyd seems like he's in his feelings that the man Javante Davis is not in the pound for pound list. Well, he hasn't paid his dues. You know, he hasn't put in the work or beat any pound for pound fighters to be considered a pound for pound fighter. Come on, Floyd, you know the drilly, man. You know the game. When Floyd beat man like Diego Corrales, they was both on the pound for pound list. Up and coming young fighters, you know what I mean? That's how you get there. How the hell the man Rigondeaux got into the pound for pound list? He beat the number 3 pound for pound fighter in the world at the time in 2013, and that was Nonito Donaire. And just like that, man, like Guillermo Rigondeaux with 8, 9 fights was in the top 5, 6 pound for pound. You know what I'm saying? Floyd Mayweather, your man ain't fought nobody. You know what I mean? He ain't fought nobody. This guy, Naui the Monster Inui, Floyd Mayweather is insinuating that the guy's on steroids. Like, basically Floyd Mayweather was saying the man he wants him to come to America and get random drug and urine testing, right? And then make a fight versus Javante Davis at catchweight. Right, yeah, I mean. But Floyd Mayweather is doing the same shit that the racist boxing fans and boxing media outlets was trying to do to him to get his first loss. Huh? I've been watching boxing for a very long time, like over 3 decades. Definitely over 3 decades, damn near 4. Now, um, I ain't never seen him press no fighter at them small weights, well, except for Guillermo Rigondeaux and Lomachenko. They did the same thing, you know. Lomachenko and Guillermo Rigondeaux, they should have fought at 120, at least 126 pounds. Initially, Guillermo Rigondeaux wanted to fight at a catch weight. He's a 122 pounder. Lomachenko was a 126 pounder. Let's meet at the middle at 124. Lomachenko declined. All right, boom. The man Rigondeaux told Lomachenko, I bet I'll come up to 126 to your weight class at featherweight, and let's get it popping. Lomachenko and them declined. He went up to a higher weight class at 130. Guillermo Rigondeaux was a small dude at 122. He could still be making 118, but he was campaigning at a 122, and he still wanted to fight. But now Guillermo Rigondeaux took short money, right? He took short money, not the money that he would have gotten if they had fought earlier, right? At 126 or 124, just like Nicholas Walters did. They did the same thing. You know what I mean? Lomachenko and them. And then they fought the man Guillermo Rigondeaux at 130 pounds. You know what I'm saying? Rigondeaux to come up from 122 to 126. Okay? Best name on Lomachenko's resume. That's what they kept telling the man Rigo. Go up there, go fight the man Lomachenko at 130 pounds. I don't know why the man Rigondeaux bit the bullet, but he was being blackballed out the game of boxing, and possibly till today, that might be his highest payday. Either the Donaire fight or the Lomachenko fight. You know what I mean? So now that's what Floyd Mayweather and them are doing to this Japanese kid. They're insinuating and saying basically that or not they, Floyd is insinuating the guy's on PEDs, okay? And he wants him to come to America and fight on a catch weight. You know what I mean? Fight at a catch weight. But what's the catch weight gonna be? 9 times out of 10, it's gonna be Floyd Tank Davis bringing the man Inui up from 122 to 130, right? Right? Yeah, and Tank Davis just gonna come down 5 pounds to 130 from 135. And never forget, the man Tank Davis has fought as high as 140, albeit he fought a bum in Mario Barrios. Okay, yes, he fought a bum in Mario Barrios. He didn't fight the lineal champion at the time, Josh Taylor, at 140. I've never seen the man Tank Davis interested in going up to 140 to fight a Regis Prograis or even a Teofimo Lopez who holds a WBO belt right now at 140 pounds. But yet they want this guy, the Monster Inui, who I first started seeing the Monster Inui fight in that the Monster Inui came into this boxing game and he won a world title. What did he win? He won a world title in like his sixth professional fight. Tank Davis ain't never done that. You know, Tank Davis ain't never beat nobody in his sixth professional fight and winning a world title. Now Tank Davis did win a professional world title, I believe, in his 17th fight. And I was a little surprised when they gave him that fight versus Jose Pedraza. But guess what? What did we hear Tank Davis saying just last year in 2022? He said, and Tank Davis, I don't know, he might be smoking some flock or something. The kind of shit that comes out of his mouth. Why would you say that? He said Floyd Mayweather and then wanted him to lose. They threw him into the deep end early versus Jose Pedraza in like his 17th fight, you know what I mean? And they wanted him to lose. Like, are you serious? Now, he got a world title in his 17th professional fight, and that was a tremendous feat by Gervonta Davis. And till this day, I still consider that the best win on Tank Davis' resume is fighting the man Jose Pedraza, especially that early in his career, right? But that was his 17th fight. This man, what's his name? The Monster Inui won his first world title in his sixth fight. And he won himself a WBC, what was it, 108 light flyweight title, 108 pounds. 108 pounds. Okay, Tank Davis came into this game at 130. Yeah, I mean, so, why do we need a small dude like them fellas? Tank Davis ain't got a lot of live dudes to fight at 135 pounds. You see, that's why I call this video reverse racism. The same type of shit they want to do to black fighters who are very good, undefeated, indestructible, and just dominate in their divisions, right? Now people want them to go up to higher weight classes to fight bigger dudes so they can beat up. They try and do the same thing to the Monster Inui. Naoya Inoue. Guess a lot of people ain't convinced. It's not the Monster Inui's job to convince people, that he's like that. I mean, some of these people who not giving him props till this day, and they said Cool Boy Steph gonna knock him out. Dante's Boxing Nation said he gonna give him a whole boxing lesson, etc. Well, these guys don't even really watch boxing from outside of ESPN and or Showtime. You know what I'm saying? You know, how could you take the word or the opinion of a man who does not follow boxing in a division? You know what I mean? You check it. These guys don't know the Monster Inui. They can't tell you who they fought. They don't know who Omar Narvaez is. They don't know these guys. They don't know Kohi Kono and Juan Carlos Payano, all these guys, Emmanuel Rodriguez, these guys that the man fought. Emmanuel Rodriguez will be headlining a Showtime fight actually in the MGM National Harbor. I'm still contemplating whether I'm going to go to that fight this weekend, okay? He's fighting for the vacant bantamweight strap. Then guess who vacated and moved up and was undisputed? Now, we knew all these straps that got vacated, people fighting for me, you know what I mean? Mexican beat Donaire 2 weekends ago for the vacant WBC. I believe this is going to be a vacant IBF belt that the man, Emmanuel Rodriguez, a former champion, is fighting for. A former champion that got obliterated by the Monster Inui in 2 rounds, like a devastating KO. He was leaking all over the place in 2 rounds. So they trying to do the reverse racism thing, you know what I'm saying? Tank Davis ain't fighting no live dudes in and around his weight class, right? But they want to pick on this little dude. They want the little dude to lose, right? They want the little dude who started boxing at 108 pounds. You heard me right, 108 pounds. You know what I'm saying, these fellas, like my little daughter is not probably gonna be 108 pounds when she's 12 years old. You know what I'm saying, you check it. They want this man to lose, right? Just so they could jump out there and try to help the man Tank Davis finally get a quote unquote pound for pounder, number two pound for pound in the boxing game, whether you like it or not. You know what I'm saying? They want that Tank Davis to get on the pound for pound list because he's been fighting a bunch of little dudes and nobodies. None of these fights, a man Tank Davis is damn near 30 and old, whatever he is, but he still is not on the pound for pound list, never cracked it. I've been saying that for years. Here we are in 2023. This man is a 10 plus year veteran, has never sniffed or cracked the pound for pound list. You know what I'm saying? But they want to get the Naoya the Monster Inoue just so they can take some juice, get some juice off of that man. You know what I'm saying? Because Naoya the Monster right now, he got all the juice. You know what I'm saying? Just like Tupac in that Juice movie. You know what I mean? They want some of that. And Floyd Mayweather sounds a little too bitter and mad and in his feelings that the Monster Inoue is doing what he did, basically even insinuating that the man is juicing. You know what I mean? Yeah, as on PEDs. You know what I'm saying? They always the fans always go back. The haters of the Monster Inui always go back to that fight versus Donaire in 2019 November and say, "Oh, this guy took him life and death. Oh, this that." I told y'all before, man. Donaire is Donaire, man. Hell, Donaire's accomplished more than your favorite fighter. Yeah, you mother. Yeah. If your favorite fighter is Errol Spence, well, Errol Spence ain't accomplished what Donaire has. You know, Donaire's going to the Hall of Fame. Donaire's been a world champion in 4 different weight classes, from flyweight to featherweight. Yes, indeed. You know what I mean? Donaire is a walking legend in this boxing game. You know what I mean? As far as what he's accomplished, you know. I like how my man Rigondeaux battered Donaire because Donaire was at his peak, number 3 pound for pound in the boxing game. And that's what the smaller dude Rigondeaux had to do, defy all the odds as an underdog and to give this man Donaire a boxing lesson. You know what I mean? Now we the Monster Inui went life and death with a great fighter. But what he do in the second fight? He obliterated him in 2 rounds. He knocked his ass out in the second round. You know what I mean? And guess what? What did Donaire do? After Donaire, you see, and that's what makes a great world champion. That's what makes, and Floyd said it out of his mouth. You know, a guy can lose, but what makes him great is coming back and winning world titles. How many world titles did Manny Pacquiao win after he lost to Floyd Mayweather? At least 2 world titles, okay? How many world titles did Muhammad Ali win after losing to Joe Frazier? At least 2 more times, won 2 more world titles, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? How many world titles? And even the man, Naoya Inoue, after losing to the monster, I'm sorry, I'm no need to Donaire. After losing to the monster, Naoya Inoue, in the first fight in the what do you call it, World Boxing Super Series Bantamweight final, the man Naoya Monster Inoue became a world champion yet again. He became a world champion yet again after losing to the Monster Inoue. And what did the Monster Inoue have to do? He fought him in a rematch, knocked him out the second time, and he took a world title off of him. You know what I'm saying? Again, you know. So, Floyd Mayweather said it out of his mouth, but then they're basically not trying to give the Monster Inoue credit, saying the Monster Inoue should have knocked out Donaire in the first fight because Donaire was an older guy. Some guys are special, like Bernard Hopkins. All those guys Bernard Hopkins fought when B-Hop was in his 40s, I guess they should have knocked him out too, right? From the Kelly Pavliks to the Chad Dawsons, the Gene Pascals, all those guys should have knocked him out. But Floyd, come on, let's not do that, man. Give fellas they props, you know what I mean? And all these fans who want to see Tank Davis fight Naoya the Monster Inoue, you guys are what's wrong with boxing. You don't want to challenge your favorite fighters to fight the best fighters in their division. Hit the thumbs up when y'all come in this chat, y'all. Be Marsh Boxing Cooking, man. I'm chefing up, you know what I mean? I'm chefing up some delicious eats this morning. You know what I mean? This is going to hold you down. like it's brunch. I'm giving you a heavy brunch today. You heard? No, them fellas need to fight Teofimo Lopez, Devin Haney, Shakur Stevenson, all those great, very good fighters in and around 135 and 140. You know what I mean? You check it. But to come down or trying to fight a little guy like what you call him? Naoya the Monster Inoue, that's that reverse racism shit, man. They try to make this Japanese dude lose, you know what I mean? And it's a damn shame that we've come to that point where people are clamoring for a dude who fights at 122, who started in this boxing game at 108 pounds. They want him to fight Tank Davis. Are you serious? That's what we've come down to. We don't want to see Tank Davis challenge himself, right? We want to feed him only guys like little dudes coming up in weight. Never forget, man, like Leo Santa Cruz came into the boxing game fighting at super flyweight at 115 pounds. Yeah, his first world title was at bantamweight, but yet he fought the man Leo Tank Davis, and people give him mad credit like he fought a killer. You know what I'm saying? Never forget that. But Tank Davis, a guy who's at 135 pounds, y'all want him seeing fighting this 122-pound. What's the difference between what Lomachenko did to Rigondeaux? You know what I'm saying? Come on, y'all. Y'all fellas need to stop this, man. Give fellas they props. If you don't want to give them their props, that's your prerogative. You know what I mean? But at least challenge your best fighter to fight the livest dudes in and around his weight division. Todd Fetch 600 in the chat was good, my G. Todd Fetch 6 says, but I will say this: Inoue team was calling for the Tank fight. In all fairness, though, really, when they calling for it, I gotta look that up. I'm not sure if I heard about that. Todd Fetch 600 says Inoue should be able to handle 8 pounds, though, right? Well, look, man, he's come up so many weight classes. This is boxing, y'all. This is boxing. There's weight classes for a reason. You know what I mean? Even if he can handle it, can Tank Davis handle Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson and Devin Haney and those guys? Those guys are actually more bigger, high-profile fights than fighting a Naoya the Monster Inoue. You know what I'm saying? You check it. French 600. I didn't read these parts. He said, yep, GGG ducked the Ward fight. Yep, and Ward went up and fought Cove, not once but twice. Facts. Todd French 600 says, yeah, him and Floyd do have a crazy relationship, LOL. So if EJ comes back and wins, what does that make him? If EJ comes back and wins, what, a world title? Like beating Terrence Crawford? That would make him great, right? Wouldn't it? It would be. It would be. It would almost be like I don't know. Roy Leonard didn't get battered, and that shit went the distance with Duran the first fight, but he did get hit with some big punches. Was getting knocked over from pillar to post and But it would be a great accomplishment. You know what I mean? Where we at in the chat? Hop, what's up, Hop? Hop's in the chat. He says, hey, B Marsh, good morning, and keep bringing it. Salute, Hop. Thanks for coming through. Todd French 600 greets, says, what up to the man, Hop? Todd French 600 says, I believe Tank should go up and fight Dev and Tio at 140. Yeah, that'd be great. That'd be great. I would like even for him to fight Devin Haney at 135 pounds, if Devin can still make 135, or Shakur Stevenson. You know what I mean? Hop says, what were the purses for Crawford Spence? Do you know? I didn't hear. Todd French 600 says, yes, it would. I believe Tank Davis, I'm sorry, Bud and these guys, they made an Errol Spence and over 20 million. You know what I mean? I didn't do a video about the payout purses, because the information around wasn't as accurate. You know what I mean? But these guys definitely cleared at least 20 million. You know what I mean? They probably made as high as 30 million. Hop says, did 700,000 buys for Crawford Spence surprise you? No, I thought it would do just that. Actually, my man's, I asked him when we was watching the fight, how many pay-per-views you think this going to do? And he was quite accurate. Shout out my man Jay. My man Jay said this joint going to do about 700K. And he was pretty accurate on that. That's what came out. So I wasn't surprised. I thought that was just right. You know, Tank Davis and them, you know, they did over 1 million, and that's really surprised me. I was really happy for him and dude, Ryan Garcia to crack a million. But none of them fighters are pound for pound fighters, you know. They just lollipop type fighters, popularity and shit. You know, that was a social media type of fight. No difference between a Jake Paul, KSI, and these type of guys. You know what I mean? Todd French 600 says, no problem, my man. He says, I was in Vegas and the T-Mobile Arena was packed. Why you was there for the fight between Spence and Crawford? If you was in the arena in the building and watched that live, man, salute to you, man. You witnessed greatness, real talk. Hop says prediction for Alvarez Charlo. Probably I got Cannoli winning for sure. Tegan Hanson's in the chat. She says, hey, Tegan. I definitely got Cannoli beating Charlo. I could see him being by stoppage. Because I could see Charlo quitting or some shit, you know what I mean? Or basically bowing out with the built-in excuse that, oh, he's just hitting too hard. He's too big, man. I came up to weight classes, man. I overestimated myself, you know what I mean? But, you know, Cannoli went the distance with man like John Ryder, who's a tough SOB. Yeah, he's a tough SOB for that fight. He went the distance, you know. But is Charlo as tough as John Ryder? I don't think so. And if Cannoli goes the distance with this guy, it's because Cannoli's regressing. That would be the only reason it goes the distance. Is because Cannoli's on the decline. But I think Cannoli should stop this guy. But never forget, I told y'all, man, I will be rooting for Charlo. Hard body. Todd French 600 says, LOL, I tried to get an LOL, bro. They were all gone. Shit, them tickets were mad expensive. I checked them out. I was trying to go. But I couldn't face no paying like $900 to be sitting in the very top in the heavens. Although the T-Mobile Arena is not the MGM. I've never been in T-Mobile. I've been to the MGM in Las Vegas. Any seat in the MGM is fine. You can see the ring perfectly fine. It's not that big of an arena. But that T-Mobile Arena joint, that joint looked massive. That joint looked massive, you know. So, Hop says, will Crawford Charlo happen? It can happen only, like Bud said, right? If Charlo goes, fights Cannoli and loses, which he will, right? Then he comes back down to 154, and he fights Kostya Tszyu, son Tim Tszyu, for the WBO strap that has been stripped from Charlo, because Charlo only holds 3 now, right? And then the man Bud beats, and whomever wins out of Charlo and Kostya Tszyu will be undisputed, right? And that could make Charlo a 2-time undisputed. That's something he could possibly say. 2-time undisputed, right? And then Bud would be able to fight him, you know what I mean? But if the belt is fragmented, like 1/4 of it like it is right now, Bud wants to become undisputed in 2 weight classes, you know what I mean? So that's the only way I see it happening. Hop says, I know you dislike Canelo. What's your main reason? I dislike Canelo because he's a steroid cheat. If that's not good enough for anybody for me not liking him, I don't know what to tell y'all, man. I don't like Cannoli because them fellas is a steroid cheat, and he brushed it off like, what y'all gonna do about it? And so what? I hated that. I hated that attitude, that smug attitude he gave when he got popped twice for steroids. I hate Canoli because he be cheating the game. Steroids, rehydration clauses, catch weights, fighting little dudes, not fighting live dudes. Canoli's a fucking bum, Hop. I don't know what to tell you, Mo. He's horrible. Terrible fighter. Like he was telling the man on Andrade. He's a cold bum. Watched boxing a lot of years, man, and I know cold bums from real good fighters. I believed in Bud Crawford's skill set from long time. I thought he always could beat a man like Errol Spence. Canoli, come on, you saw what he did to Bivol. Eric Morales and Juan Manuel Marquez and Julio Cesar Chavez, real Mexican legends, real pure cold-blooded killers in the ring. They have criticisms for Canoli. What do they say? I know for a fact Morales and Marquez saying this guy always likes to fight guys when they're out of their prime and when they old and washed up and no. That's what he does. You know what I mean? You check it, yo. So fuck that dude. I don't fuck with Canoli. I hate what he did to that man, James Kirkland. Damn near killed James Kirkland. Kirkland hadn't been in the ring in 2 years. You know, they caught Kirkland, man, and the man damn near killed Kirkland when he could have fought Cotto that time. He could have fought Cotto. He could have fought Cotto 2 years prior to that. When did he fight Cotto? When Cotto was old and on his last legs, and that fight was still very damn close. Kovalev was beating this guy Canelo with one hand, just jabbing and moving. He fought like a PUSSY, but he was winning with just one hand till he got caught. He was up on my scorecard. Caleb Platt was beating this dude. He was also fighting like a PUSSY. You know what I mean? Wasn't trying to really get this dude up out of there like Bivol. Bivol put that stiff broomstick on Canoli's small steroid juicing ass. And don't get me started about Canoli. When you ask me about Canoli, I'm going to tell you the truth. Come on, Hop. What did this guy Canoli say? This gingerbread steroid juicer. What did he say? I don't consider my fight versus Floyd Mayweather to be a loss. I consider myself still undefeated. I made a whole video about that. That's what he said, man. This was before he lost to Bivol. I consider that was just a learning experience and blah blah blah. Boy, please. This is the boxing game. You had a 13-year age advantage on the man Money May, and Money May won every single round. Money May looked like a little schoolboy, like a little boy next to Canoli. That's how big Canoli was big on him, and Canoli got taken to school. You know, so that dude could take a hike. Hop says, in my opinion, Mayweather Cotto is a fight that deserves more appreciation. I thought Cotto acquitted himself very well indeed, man. That's one of Floyd Mayweather's hardest fights, man. That's one of his hardest fights. No catch weight. Went to 154. Fought that man at 154 straight, no catch weight, and he beat him. In a fight, Floyd Mayweather had to dig deep. Floyd was leaking through the mouth and the nose. You know, Cotto brought it to him. You know what I mean? Had a stiff jab, you know, and brought that pressure on Floyd. But Floyd's a great fighter, man. He prevailed and became a champion yet again 2 times. The second time being a champion at 154 pounds. I like great fighters. I don't like guys like Canoli, you know. Canoli has a lot of, he probably has a 30, 39, 40-year-old Shane Mosley on his resume. Old Cotto, old Kovalev. He was losing to Austin Trout. It was just a knockdown. That was the difference on my card. I had that fight a draw, but he did drop Austin Trout. Come on, Canoli's not that dude. Canoli has a Mexican fan base, a whole country that's behind him, and it's a country that's very close to America. They just south of the border, meaning there's a lot of Mexicans also here in the United States, especially on the West Coast. So they're the ones who really prop his name up and get him the big paydays, and you know what I mean. But other than that, Canoli's skill set, are you serious, man? Man like Andrade will batter that. Will take to give that man a boxing lesson, like Erislandy Lara did. Another reason why I'm not a fan of this guy. When I watched the Erislandy Lara fight, I was like, oh my gosh, that guy, this man took him to school. Then they read the announcement. the scorecards, and when they gave it to Canoli, man, I damn near broke my TV. I threw my remote at the TV. I almost broke that joint, man. I was so infuriated. You know, I get even Danny Jacobs was put on a rehydration clause, and Danny Jacobs said, "F that, man." He lost $1 million because he wasn't gonna acquiesce to this guy's demands. He lost $1 million. He lost a fight, made his biggest payday of his career, but he did lose $1 million for not obliging to that rehydration clause. So yeah, he can kick rocks. Hop says, I remember Justin Bieber walked out Floyd for that fight. Floyd's daughter had a crush on him. Yeah, I remember that too. Yes, indeed. Yeah, man. So, yo, the reverse racism thing they trying to do for the monster in Nui, we seen it before. I've criticized all those other fighters who try to do that to good, very good undefeated fighters, right? So it's only right I go in on Floyd Mayweather for suggesting this this uh this catch weight thing, and yeah, I mean trying to get the monster Inui, trying to they basically trying to build a name and trying to get a pound for pound status off Naui the monster Inui. Nope, 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 nope. Tank Davis, you want to be pound for pound? Go beat them fighters in your weight class who are pound for pound fighters like Devin Haney. All you gotta do is beat a Devin Haney, and you're pound for pound. Yeah, I mean, uh, where we at in the chat? Hop says, I have high regard for your boxing opinion and I consider us friends. I'm going to disagree with you on the Alvarez Andrade fight, though. Wish we could see it and find out. Yeah, I mean, we could disagree, but, one thing for sure, two things for certain, right? I don't know if you know Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler was told by Joe Frazier, and that's truth and rights. Man, my guy, he told them dogs, you got three things going bad for you. That ain't gonna work for you, man. That's holding you back in this boxing game. One, you're good. Second, you're black. And third, you're a southpaw. You're a lefty. Nobody wanna fight you, man. You too dangerous. Come on, man. Hop. You know boxing, man. Look at the dimensions. Look what the man Andrade's dimensions, his height, his reach. Look at how short and stubby man like Canoli is. Little short Mexican. You think that guy, really has anything for undefeated Bubu Andrade? Oh, come on, man. Come on, man. Styles make fights. And we've seen a lot of boxing. And I know one thing for sure, two things for certain. That's a bad matchup all around. Come on. We've seen guys like Erislandy Lara, who is a southpaw. And it doesn't even have the type of dimensions, reach, and height like the man, what's his name, Bubu Andrade. And he beat him. I don't know anybody who thought that man won that fight. I'm saying them fellas, Canoli landed 9 jabs in that fight. 9 jabs in a whole 12-round fight. Now, we could disagree because we ain't seen the fight. But when that fight comes around, Hop, we could bet some money if you want. I'll put down $1,000. I'll put down a stack on it. But that fight 9 times out of 10 ain't gonna happen. Because Canoli's only excuse for not fighting this guy is, you're a horrible fighter. You're a horrible fighter. If he's horrible, then go beat the horrible fighter. That should be easy work. Chepo Reynoso and them ain't about that life. Chepo Reynoso and them guys, man, butchers, right? Butchers by trade. You know what I'm saying? They got a whole lot of cattle down there with that clenbuterol, right? You know, they the ones who prepare Canoli's meals, right? He ain't fucking with the man Andrade, man. Nah. Styles make fights. That's a bad matchup, straight up and down. Oh, it's like putting, like Manny Pacquiao. Manny Pacquiao's a great fighter, but there's certain styles, skill sets that he has no answer for. Just can't do nothing about it, A guy like Tim Bradley, he just didn't have discipline to box. Even in the second fight versus Manny Pacquiao, he was winning. He won the first 4 rounds. He even lifted up Manny Pacquiao with a kind of uppercut, man. Took Manny Pacquiao off of his feet. Not like he fell, like he got dropped, but it lifted him up literally off of his feet. But what happened with this guy with Bradley? Bradley stopped boxing, and he just started trying to knock this dude out. Pacquiao, and he's not a knockout artist. He was swinging for the fences. Pacquiao was just being patient, counterpunching him, and that's how Pacquiao beat him in the second fight, and he beat him in the third fight. But Bradley could have won the second fight, absolutely. Just like Ugas, he just boxed behind your jab. Give this man. There was a guy named Juan Guzman, a very good Dominican fighter back in the day, who was on Manny Pacquiao's heels. That was a fight that we didn't get to see, and Manny Pacquiao, man, he wasn't going to mess. That man Juan Guzman was just too good of a boxer, man. He just was an undisciplined guy, didn't keep weight and stuff like that. But that would have been a bad matchup for him. You know what I mean? Just like Mark Too Sharp Johnson, Manny Pacquiao ducked him too at 118 pounds. Went up all the way to 122 to avoid Mark Too Sharp Johnson. So styles make fights, and Canoli, he just ain't got it. Come on, man. Come on, man. We seen what Bivol did to the man, right? You know what I mean? And Bivol is what? What is Bivol? Isn't Bivol a pure boxer? Well, he's not a knockout artist. I mean, the man Bivol is a guy who fights behind his jabs, sets up his shots, breaks you down with the jab, and he'll just box your ears off. He can knock fellas out, but he's not a big-time puncher. You know what I'm saying? You seen what he did to Canoli? Boo Boo will do it even worse. I'm trying to tell you, man. Hop says, I like Andrade, but I think Canelo's a better fighter than you do. 1,000 seriously, B March? Absolutely, man. And if I lose, man, I'll pay you straight up and down. I don't play that. I don't do no ass betting. I don't ass bet. I mean, I keep it tall when we shooting dice with the fellas, man. Ain't no ass betting. If you ain't got no money in your hand, you cannot play this game. You cannot enter the dice game. Ain't no ass betting. Yeah, I mean, Hop says, I thought Bradley Pacquiao was a horrible decision. The first fight, I thought Pacquiao won it, but not like so wide. I had him winning 7-4. I'm sorry, 7-5. But I thought he clearly won the first fight. You know what I mean? The second fight, Bradley looked like he was gonna beat that man. Yeah, at least he won the first 4 rounds. Then he started fighting like he got all kind of, like he got Mike Tyson type of power, and that's what he played into Pacquiao's. He played into Pacquiao's hands, and Pacquiao went on to beat the man pretty easily in the second fight. Yeah, the first fight, absolutely. I thought it was a bad decision too, Hop. I watched that fight. It was actually on my birthday. It was like June 21st of 2020. I said 2020. Of 2012. 2012. I remember because I was in a club on U Street in Washington D.C. called Republic Gardens. You know what I mean? I was in Republic Gardens and we watched that fight, and I remember, it's in a club. You know what I mean? You can't really hear the commentary and stuff. You know what I mean? But we was there watching the fight, and I remember when they called the decision. Almost all of us in that Republic Gardens looked at each other like, huh? Well, I remember, couldn't really speak. I mean, I didn't know these people. These are just random people. Everybody came to party and watch the fight. And they all looked at each other like, the hell? Yeah, I mean, so, yeah, man, that reverse racism thing, man, they need to cut it out. Floyd, like Hop said, you was talking all about yourself, which he does. But I'm a big Floyd Mayweather fan. I thought he paid his dues. Very great fighter. Last of a dime breed, a throwback fighter. Yeah, I mean. But now just trying to capitalize off Naoya the Monster's pound for pound status. I've seen Naoya the Monster. He knew he could get a world title at 108. Then he skipped 112, right? And he went up and fought the number one guy at 112. Sorry, 115, excuse me. Omar Narvaez. You know what I'm saying? He went and beat Omar Narvaez, and he knocked him out in 2 rounds. Now, this is his second weight class. He's now a 2 different weight class champion in his 8th or 9th fight. He's 9-0. He's 8-0 or 9-0, and is a two-weight champion. He comes up to, he's at 115 campaigning, and 115 is a live division. You got fellas like Rungvisai there. Hop says, hold on one sec. Let me finish this thought. Right, sometimes I lose track. 115 was a live division. Had Rungvisai, Chocolatito, El Gallo, and Carlos Cuadras. They had 4 live dudes in that division, right? And Naui the Monster Nui was in that division. And that's the only flaw or qualms or issue that I ever had with Naui the Monster Nui. He came to HBO where all these guys I mentioned were competing. Cuadras, Rungvisai, Chocolatito, and El Gallo, Francisco Estrada. And he never fought none of these guys, man. He ain't fight none of them, and no unification. All these guys were just fighting each other, and now the Monster Inui ain't step in and fight none of these. And I was really disappointed that he did that, and then he decided to go to 118 pounds, to bantamweight, where he became undisputed, which is great. He became undisputed. But come on, man. Why he didn't fight those legends? Estrada's going to the Hall. I'm sorry, Chocolatito's going to the Hall of Fame. Imagine if the Monster Nui had that name on his resume right now. That would be the best name on his resume. He didn't fight El Gallo and any of these guys. So that was my problem I had with him at 115. At 118, he became undisputed, you know. A man like Tank Davis has held a lot of regular belts, you know, Reggie belts. I've never seen the Monster Inui hold even one Reggie belt. I've seen him hold 4 straps simultaneously in a weight class, being undisputed. I've seen him with mad WBC belts. I've never even seen Tank Davis hold a WBC belt in his life. So what are we talking about? What are we really talking about, guys? What are we talking about? Isn't it apparent that the man Tank Davis got to put in more work in this boxing game to become a pound for pounder? It's quite obvious, quite simple. Now, the Monster Inui's done a lot of more heavy lifting than Tank Davis has done in his whole boxing pro career. So until the man Tank Davis, you know, Tank Davis stops getting into domestic fuckery with women, Tank Davis isn't out here drunk driving and crashing into a car where there's a pregnant woman and has no humanity to even check on the woman. The Slim dipped out, you know, put on his track shoes and he was gone. What are we talking about, man? What are we talking about? Tell that man to fight somebody who got a pulse. And then Tank Davis possibly will get on the pound for pound list, and he ain't going to need to ride the wave or of a little Japanese man. You know what I'm saying? Let's be honest. Tank wouldn't have to ride the wave of a little Japanese guy in Japan, a guy in the Far East, all the way the fuck over there. Tank Davis would be putting in work in the United States and beating live dudes in and around his weight class. But until he does that, I'm going to keep going on Slim. B-Marsh Boxing. Let me read these chats before I sign out. The first fight, I mean, yeah, okay. Hop says, where else do we disagree? I felt Wilder edged Tyson Fury in the first fight. I've watched it and scored it carefully twice. True indeed. Yeah, the knockdown was the difference. Can't even remember how many times he dropped him. Wilder was losing the fight on my cards, right? As far as, you know, 10-9 rounds and stuff like that. But he had a lot of 10-8 rounds that he won the fight on my card by like a point or so. You know what I mean? You check it, but unfortunately for him, he didn't get it done in the second or third fight. But the third fight, I ain't gonna lie, Warrior went out on his shield. He went out on his shield. No question about it. Go ahead, Hop. You said you got one more question. Yeah, sure. Shoot. Shoot before I skate. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. Naui the Monster Inoue has put in more work than Tank Davis. Tank Davis, it's only a matter of time just like Errol Spence. I think Tank Davis has a better skill set than Errol Spence, right? But Tank Davis is like Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant's an NBA player. What, this is going to be his 17th year. And could you believe this? Till today, I don't know how good Kevin Durant is. I still don't know how good he is. I've never seen him do anything without riding Steph Curry's bandwagon, and he ain't never done nothing by himself. He's never challenged himself, right? So we don't know how good this guy is. Sort of like Tank Davis. When you don't challenge yourself, I mean, look, man, the Tank Davis fans came on my channel and told me that the Ryan Garcia fight is a step up fight and more competition for than Tank Davis versus Devin Haney. They said Ryan Garcia is a step up fight and more competition than Devin Haney. That's the kind of people we gotta converse with and have conversations about this boxing shit here on this YouTube, man. It's really, oh my gosh. Yo, Hop, what's the deal, Hop? What's the last question, my guy? I think I done exhausted this live stream. I done made my point. We've talked about all kind of other boxing in the chat, in the live stream. So I'm not sure what's the other question, Hop. Don't you see my question above? Oh, the question I see, the only question I see is, where do we disagree? I felt Wilder edged Tyson Fury in the first fight I've watched and scored it. That's the only one I see with the. Oh, am I making too many comments, B? Is that what you asked? Nah, not at all. We this is participation. You're actually making the live stream uh more entertaining with your questions. So not at all. If it wasn't for questions, this video would probably be 10 minutes, to be honest. Maybe less. But it's because we got participation in the chat, and thanks everybody for participating in that thumbs up. Salute to all y'all. You want to hear some real pure, unadulterated facts about boxing, this where we going to talk that shit, you heard? But yo, B Marsh Boxing, big ups to Hop. Big ups to everybody in the chat. You already know. Who else was in here? Todd French 600, salute to you. And Todd French 600, I'm going to go do some research about how you mentioned, when you mentioned, but I will say this. This is what Todd French 600 said. But I will say this. Inoue team was calling for the Tank fight in all fairness, though. See, I didn't know that. I didn't hear about that. I'm going to have to go do my research, because if this guy is calling out Tank Davis, then I guess it's all fair game, you know what I mean? It's something sort of like, even though it's too many weight classes, it's something sort of similar to what Chad Dawson did, when Chad Dawson beat B-Hop. And was it when Chad Dawson? Yeah, when Chad Dawson beat B-Hop, I believe. Chad Dawson was feeling himself, and he told Andre Ward, he called out Andre Ward, and Chad Dawson was fighting at 175 pounds. He was the lineal champ. And he told Andre Ward, yo, I'll come down to 168 and I'll take off all them straps off of you. Andre Ward wasn't looking for Chad Dawson. Andre Ward said, man, bet, come down to 168 and let's boogie. And sure enough, they did, and Andre Ward battered Chad Dawson, man. Chad Dawson was obviously drained because nobody batters. Look, Andre Ward's a great fighter, but Andre Ward doesn't even batter no fighters like that, period, who are in his weight class. Obviously, that man was drained, and Andre Ward battered him. But Andre Ward, dude came looking for Andre Ward, you know what I mean? Hop, I'm not sure what your question is, because you're saying read the comment just above this one. Just above that comment says, don't you see my question above? I read that. And before that is, oh, I have one more question. I read that. And up above that is, am I making too many comments, B? Nah, not at all. And above that, I read, where do we disagree? I felt Wilder. So I think I've read everything that you've commented, you know what I mean? Hop says, "Oh, it's not showing my comment then. Weird. Oh well, it's all good. It's all good." But salute to all y'all for coming through. B Marsh Boxing. I'm about to sign off. If you're new to the channel, please share and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up when you come in this chat. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. I'm out of here. One.